I'm Pat Rigsby, and this is The Winning Coach. In today's episode, we're going to talk about what it means to be the winning coach. Let's get to it. When most people think of winning, they think of the scoreboard. Whether it's a victory on the field or revenue coming in or recognition, being busy, people think about these visible things that the public sees, but the reality is the scoreboard can lie. Your revenue could be inflated because you ran a launch. Your victory could be completely indicative of playing weak competition. And the culture underneath could be rotting. The infrastructure could be weak. You could have everything behind the scenes not really working the way that you need it to work, but the front facing stuff, the on stage stuff looks great. And that's why this podcast exists. We want to connect the dots between sports and business and leadership and life so that you can really get the results that you want, whether it's on the field or in your business, and still be proud of the life that you're living outside of your career. Now, I want to tell you, none of this is theory. This is not coming out of a textbook. This is all really rooted in either my own personal experiences as a college baseball coach, a baseball coach long after that, really coaching for the last 30 years in the world of sport, and then owning over 30 different businesses in the coaching world, largely in sports performance and in fitness, and then interviews with other people who've actually been in the field, in the trenches. And we're going to work through what actually works in practicality, how to get the outcomes that you want, how to build the culture that you really love to not only be part of, but you feel proud that you developed and bring people into. And doing all of this in a way that is fulfilling to you and helps you lead the life that you want to lead. See, what I noticed very early on in my business life was that all the lessons that I learned in the dugout, on the field, they translated almost directly into the business world. In fact, most of what I do in a daily basis and most of what has allowed me to build successful businesses, multiple franchises, award-winning businesses, it really was rooted in what I learned in a dugout setting, what I learned when it came to recruiting, building a culture, developing players, creating teams. And I don't want to suggest for a minute here it's all been smooth sailing. I've had wonderful experiences and I've had negative experiences. Early on in my college baseball coaching career, we were under-resourced, under-talented, and we figured out a way to be successful enough, maybe playing above our potential, but we didn't have a great program relative to our competition. We just had people who worked hard, and we created a culture that was kind of gritty, and people really kind of bought into it, but we just didn't have the same caliber players on the field that the better teams at our level had. Now, contrast that with kind of the, I guess, middle of my college coaching journey, the years 3 through 5. We had talent, we had culture, we had a brotherhood, if you will, and we identified the right people to recruit, just like you would in business when it comes to marketing and selling. And the results were incredible. We were able to outperform our resources by an incredible margin, even finishing 5th at the World Series in my 5th year, when every other World Series participant had at least 8 times the scholarship money that we had. And, so that all sounds great, right? It sounds like, hey, you cracked the code, you figured it out. Well, my 6th year, my final full season as a college coach, it exposed where I didn't have it figured out. We had people who were good on paper. We won recruiting battles against some bigger programs. We had talented athletes. We had some people that were skilled, but the culture was not a good fit. There were not people that were really the type of players that we had had in the past. And I learned very quickly that even though we were relatively successful on the scoreboard, we won substantially more games than we lost, the underlying infrastructure, the foundation, it was weak. And it was something that was going to really kind of cause us to implode over time if it continued on. It was the type of thing that you'd see in a business that maybe revenue numbers masked, a business that was destined or destined to fail or doomed from that point forward. And, and I carried these things on into my business life because, it became very clear to me that if you want to build an effective business, you've got to be strong with marketing and selling because that's the fuel that drives everything forward. But you have to be great when it comes to developing a culture and player development, thinking about the people that work with you, about people. They're not transactions. They're not just pieces on a chessboard. They are human beings who've got goals and dreams and exist well beyond what they're doing in the facility for you as an employee or on the field for you as a player. And that helped me throughout. And the results been really wonderful in many regards. I mean, we've won awards as one of the best places to work in our state multiple times with businesses that I've owned. We had the top franchisee satisfaction in all of North America for franchises with under 500 locations with the largest franchise I co-founded. And this all really stemmed from learning this in the baseball field. But again, I'll tell you, there were more mistakes, there were more errors, there were times that maybe we grew too fast or aligning myself with a business partnership that maybe we didn't share the same values or have the same priorities. And all of these were learning experiences, good and bad, that I'm excited to share with you in the Winning Coach because really, I think that if you're paying attention to this episode and this is something that appeals to you, you want to become a better leader. You want to develop an environment, whether you're talking about in a business or on the field, where the culture is strong. You know how to attract the right people. You know how to bring them into the culture and develop them to help them reach their potential and align that potential and their impact with your vision while helping them become the best version of themselves. You want to make sure that, yes, you are winning on the field or in business, but you also want to do it in a way that it allows you to have a wonderful life outside of your career. And all of these things are possible. Man, it's such an exciting time for me to be able to talk through this with you. I'm going to share my own experiences, but I'm also going to bring in guests who have done wonderful things in the world of business, in the world of leadership, and on the field. So the goal isn't just to help you chase more. It's to help you be able to be in a position to create success, to handle success, to sustain it, and to have a life that is awesome outside of that career success. So that's what you can expect with the Winning Coach.